What is different about Yuh-ih's defense policy compared to the current administration's?
We really don't know a whole lot about Ho-Yoi's defense strategy, but what we do know is that recently he's talked about doing things like drafting a national security strategy, paying Taiwanese service members more, and investing in drone warfare capabilities. Now, when you look at what the DPP has been doing under Tsai Ing-wen and what a Lai Ching-te administration would likely do on defense policy, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of daylight between the two of them. The DPP also is interested in paying Taiwanese service members more, and they have been already investing in drone technology across the board in order to bolster deterrence and potentially counter China in a conflict. So again, it's unclear how what Ho is proposing is any different from the DPP.
And how different are the KMT, the Kuomintang, and the DPP, the Democratic Progressive Party, in terms of U.S. military cooperation?
I think the KMT and the DPP both highly value cooperation with the U.S. on military issues. And you really see this, especially with the big ticket sales like F 16s, for example, right? Both sides, when Ma Ying jeou was in power from 2008 to 2016, and also Tsai from 2016 on to the present, anytime there's a big military sale from the U.S., arms sale, whether it's KMT or DPP, they welcome that sale because it really bolsters their credentials in the eyes of the Taiwanese people, and it also demonstrates that Taiwan has an important partner in the United States to help counter China. So I don't expect, if the KMT were to win, next month, I don't expect the KMT to change its position on military cooperation with the U.S. What I do see, however, is kind of a de-emphasis on the need for military cooperation were the KMT to win because their priority will be dialogue with Beijing.
Do you think the United States maybe has a preference of which party it would like to work with in the future?
I would say that the United States obviously does not choose, does not have a preference, so to speak, in terms of who wins the election in Taiwan. But obviously, it will be easier to work with the DPP than it would be with the KMT, and I say that because the DPP shares the suspicions that the U.S. has about China and shares the desire to counter China, whereas the KMT is going to look a little bit more suspiciously at the U.S. position to do those things, right? So I think that if the DPP wins, then the U.S.-Taiwan relationship will continue to go down this path of really strengthening ties, especially on the military side, in order to deal with China. I think if the KMT wins, that will probably still happen, but it will be a little bit more in fits and starts. It will be a little bit more incremental. And so that will be, I think, a change that policymakers in Washington would have to adapt to going forward.